There we go. Welcome everybody to Comic Book Club. Tonight we are doing JLA versus Avengers issue 4. It was Big D Runk's pick, so let me line it up for what the hell is this? Line it up for nope, that ain't it. Nope, there we go. Perfect.
Hey, here's the cover.
Where the heck did? Sorry, don't mind me. Keep going.
Oh, you're good, Matt.
No, found it. Comic Book Club. I was looking for the document. With
Yeah,
all
this
our
is my 9/8 copy of the book. It's a
nice.
wraparound. There's not a lot going on the back. Just a couple
Yeah,
Earths, fusing together. But dude, I love this cover so much.
that is so fantastic. Like the moment in the book where this happens is so cool.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot of cool moments in this book. So we'll get right to it. Let me flip to it. I don't have the individual issues. I have it in a little graphic novel. Um, so this whole shindig starts off with a prologue with um with Tona talking to Metron, and he's talking about a universe ending. Um, and you guys might need to help me out here. They pretty much spell out the origin of Galactus in this. Was this new,
No,
or did we? Okay, so and
that
was
is
this
beyond the
can?
Galactus.
Okay, so this was already established as his origin
Yes.
before. Okay. I didn't know his origin, but I thought it was kind of cool how he like didn't give a shit. And he's like, and blah blah blah. He reborn, and he's Galactus, and pretty cool though. Little recap of how Galactus came to be, and that matters because um he want Kona wants to know how the universe started, and really he can only rip that from Galactus. Um, and you see here the DC Earth and Marvel Earth are kind of fusing together, and it's not good. Um, and here, book starts off with basically um, Marvel's universe, Marvel's Earth, DC's Earth are both just like everything's falling apart, everything's on fire, cities are disappearing, people are unhappy. There's a lot of unrest. The heroes are doing their best to try and keep everything at bay. Um, and then here, and basically, um, both these panels end with like, um, Marvel's side is like, yo, the Avengers are working on it. We're good. And then, oh yeah, the Justice League are working on it. I'm sure that it'll be fine. Um, so they're reassuring their people. And then you get to the Avengers and the Justice League kind of hashing out what they're going to do. And Vision is like having a shit fit. Cause he wants his babies. And Martian Manhunter's like, dude, quit being a dick. Wanda's like, yeah, you're being kind of a dick. And he's like, oh, babe, I'm sorry I've been such a dick.
Who would have
Um,
thought an android would have such emotions?
yeah, dude, he's such an emotional little bitch. Um, uh, but yeah, so here they're just kind of scheming on what they're going to do to, go after him. And, I love this, Superman, is like, hey, we should have a commander, someone who can lead both teams, fuse this into one. And he just looks right at Captain America and says, I think that should be you. And Captain America is caught off guard because Superman and Captain America have not gotten along very well so far in
Mhm.
this little crossover. Um, and, Superman's like, hey, do what you're told. Um, and Batman's like, hey, I agree. Cap should be the boss. And they start working it out. They start building a ship that can get them there. They're all working together. Batman and Tony Stark are talking about how they got the repulsors to, come online and be faster. Um, kind of a cool moment here between, Barry Allen and Hal Jordan. Um, they both know that by fixing the universes, they're going to disappear. Barry Allen will be dead, and Hal Jordan will be the Spectre that used to be Green Lantern, that became Parallax, that
Mhm.
destroyed Coast City. Or he had to watch Coast City get destroyed. Um, here, we got Captain America gives his shield over to Superman. He's like, "Hey, bro, I need you to take on like most of the energy from this fight, and you can't even take that. So use this shield; it'll help you out." Which is pretty cool. Like, fun seeing them two work together. Um, here you got Barry Allen starts using the treadmill to kind of zap the ship that they're all traveling into over to where um Krona's at. Is it Kona or Krona? I keep
Krona.
It's Krona, as in
Krona.
Krona.
Perfect. Well, Krona built his house in Galactus's face, which
Mm.
is kind of fucked up. Um, but
I think it's
yeah,
ironic. He steals energy from planets, and now he is one.
yeah, you know. And this thing really kicks off with just a lot of fighting. There's
Yeah.
a lot of reading to do here. And I know sometimes that frustrates us, but you can actually skip a lot of it because,
Yeah, there's a lot of useless dialogue.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they're fighting. That's the moral of it. Cool, like semi splash here where, um, they all yell Avengers assemble. And then Wasp goes, and Justice League, lambast. um, here, pretty cool, Martian Manhunter, links,
Oh,
Captain America up mentally to every Justice
Mhm.
League and Avenger. Um,
I
so
I
that,
see. I read it digitally, and
oh,
and
yeah, that would fuck that up.
it looks so much better than it does right there because
mm.
of the page
Yeah, the full.
separation.
Yeah.
I will say this. That's not a new technique. Martian Manhunter does it when Batman has problem.
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter do it
I
all
think
the
we saw it
time
in some other one that we read.
in the Justice League. It's always in the Justice League. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And then, they keep battling. Captain America is doing a really good job at calling out like what people should be doing. Um, cool little dialogue here between Thor and Superman. They're talking about what they're doing. Um, and just a lot of dialogue, like I said earlier, but it's not, it's entertaining to read it for the most part. Um, where I think it gets a little kind of goes on a little bit is, Krona's doing his best, Professor X. And he just tries to talk everyone to death.
Mm.
And he goes on a little bit too much. We get it. He's evil. He doesn't care if the universes die. That's
Mhm.
great. And then you start seeing, a lot of the heroes, start to shift in the middle of the fight. Um, here you get Batman is like transforming his costume like mid fight, cause the universe keeps,
Yeah.
sliding around. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happening. Basically just a bunch of energy flying around everywhere and people getting messed up. Here you see, Captain America put on his US agent costume.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
Superman
a
gets his long hair.
the triangle shield at one point with Captain America's shield too.
Yep.
At some point. Yeah.
Superman
And
gets his long
Superman
hair.
he also turns into the blue Superman.
Yeah, I
Yep.
saw that. That was funny too. Yeah. Who are
But
you?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That was a funny scene.
um, then eventually, it looks like Green Lantern, Hal Jordan turns into Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and they keep battling. Now you see regular Cap is back. It's just a lot of fluxing around. Um, it's
I
interesting.
actually
Uh,
think that was a good addition to the book.
yeah, I loved it too. It just,
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. Um, another big kind of, double page spread here of everyone just going after it. Um,
Like one thing I didn't understand though, like just quickly, why were the bad guys helping Kronos? Just because they're bad?
Kind of.
Yeah,
You know, and
it's also a thing, Alan. You don't like somebody,
Mhm.
okay? And somebody brings you over, and you know that they're a rival of that same person. You're gonna like
I know your enemy of your enemy is your friend.
exactly.
here's what we were talking about earlier with Blue Superman all of a sudden shows up. Thor's like, who are you? Pretty cool. They really just keep squabbing. It's not a lot of substance in this one. It's just a lot of fight. Um, and trying to get to something that's noteworthy. Yeah, they get to a point where they're trying to break into the last barrier of Krona's ship, and this is where Thor goes like, "Hey, Superman, catch this thing!" And Superman catches the thing, and he's got the hammer, he's got the shield,
Mhm.
and basically he helps the hammer, like he just continues the momentum that it has, puts his strength behind it, and just shatters the whole wall down, knocks it down. They get in. Superman immediately gets fucked up. Um, but yeah, they're still fighting around. Krona is going to go in another dialogue that you don't need to read. Basically, it's fine. I'm going to take over everything. We're good. Then you see Barry Allen running around in a circle, and we thought he died earlier. I kind of skipped over that.
Yeah, he got
But then,
wasted, and so did
yeah.
Hawkeye.
Well, it turns out they were both fine. And then all of a sudden, Cronus sees an arrow fly by, and it shatters this big giant sphere thingy that Krona was using to kind of wield all this power that he had. And he does the big, long, prolonged no as they all start fading away. And then here, uh, that's Wally now. He was like, "Hey, was Barry just here?" Um, and he was, but it kind of wasn't. Um, next page, you start to see two hands pop through, and they're separating the Earth, and it's Spectre Hal Jordan who separates the two worlds and pretty much fixes everything, puts it all right. Um, Another cool little scene here, like Superman had just held the hammer, and he's like, "Hey, let me grab that for you, bro," but now he can't. And Thor's like,
I
"Oh
hate
yeah,
this
that's
part.
because." Oh, I liked it. I thought
Actually,
it
I
paid.
like that too. That showed that
Yeah,
he can lend the hammer when he wants, but nobody else can pick it up if he doesn't want. Uh,
I don't know, but
yeah.
Superman is worthy.
Oh,
And
Superman's worthy.
Superman is also extremely vulnerable to magic, and that is a type of magic, I believe, on the
yeah.
hammer.
But I thought it was cool, and Superman did beat the piss out of Thor earlier. So like this is Thor getting a little one up without actually beating him in a fight, which is kind of cool. And you see Thor's little smirk right there.
Yeah,
Um,
the
you
smirk
know,
was
and here they're like, "Hey, keep doing your shit, bro. Like you two guys." And
So
then
that's
everything,
Eternity and Beyonder. Is that who the two are?
yeah, and yeah, pretty much it just ends with Grandmaster and Metron talking it out and agreeing to keep on rocking in the free world.
So, and what's the thing with the egg? I didn't get the egg part. Sorry.
it's a cosmic egg that they basically the universe eventually goes like, you know how it's the Big Bang and then the big
Big
contraction.
Bangish.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, the egg represents a contraction of a universe in Marvel.
Oh, okay.
So they've put Krona in there, and eventually that egg will hatch. And when that egg hatches, a brand new universe comes to join the multiverse.
Okay.
And I love how it says at the end, it's just like maybe they'll come back together eventually. And then
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
summer, the DC and Marvel are coming back after 20 years. They're crossing over again.
Which is crazy. I'm looking forward to that. So here's the full splash page. So I'll start hitting y'all with my ratings here. Cover, the cover. You kidding me? The cover. I'm gonna give that shit a 5. It's a 5. All right. It's the first 5 I've given of any cover since we've been rating books. It's a 5. All right.
Yeah, nice. First 5, baby.
Yeah. I don't think I've given any 5s yet at all. So, don't take that shit lightly. That is not
Oh
something
no,
I
that's
do. Yeah. Interior art, man, I think you really got to put some respect on it. I know some people are going to go back to Wanda's hair, which does annoy me. Hey, here's that oddly shaped shield that Alan was talking about earlier.
The
Yeah.
Just
triangle shield from
everything.
Cap One.
Yep, yep. Um, but overall, man, this art is fantastic. There's so much going on. Um, and they really had a lot of story to tell here. Um, I'll tell you, someone that has read this book several times, um, just glancing through it without doing a lot of reading, you can tell what's going on without having to read everything that Krona has to say. So
yeah.
I think that's pretty cool, actually.
Mhm.
The art tells the story. So I'm going to give the art, I'm going to give the art a 4, um, which I don't give a lot of 4s either. The interior art I thought was really solid. I'm giving it a 4. Um, the story itself, I'm going to give that a 3, right in the middle of the road. I don't think the story was incredible. I think that this story could have been a lot better if it was like a 12-part series where
Mm.
they didn't have to put so much into 4 issues.
But when you say that, each issue feels like it was 3 comic books, so it felt like a 12-part series anyway.
This one
Yeah,
felt
but
really long, by the way.
It did feel like this was definitely more than a double issue.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, but I did overall enjoy the story. It wrapped it up. It told the story. I thought it was a fun read. And really, like I said, man, the art tells most of the story. You can read what you feel like reading throughout it. You're not missing anything important if you decide to flip a page. Um, so overall, I give that issue, I gave it a 5, 4, 3. I'll give it overall a 4. Give it a 4.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right. Thank you, D. And who would you like to go next? Very well done.
well, thank you. I'm gonna go. I want to see what TM has to say.
Cool, man. All right, let's do TM. Oops, that ain't right.
Oops. Yep.
It don't matter
All
how
right,
long
I'm
you
gonna
do this shit, you always mess it up. There we go.
I'm gonna start off by saying, like, after the prologue, like, you jump into this book and you're off to the race. Like, there's nonstop, like, either between them fighting or trying to get stuff done. It's nonstop them doing something. There is a little pause in halfway through the book where they're like there's characters talking to each other, and that's where I feel like a lot of the dialogue could have been cut. Like, there was a lot of conversations between characters that didn't really need to be there.
Mhm.
But all in all, if you go through this story, you have to take your time with it. You do have to take your time with it and enjoy it. And because there is moments in time where there's characters popping in and out, and if you don't pay attention, you'd be like, "Oh wait, that character just showed up." So it's definitely a story. Definitely, if you get the trade, it would be perfect way to read that. Just read it all in once and enjoy it. Because it's crazy because you want to take your time with this, especially with the art inside. It's just beautiful. I feel like I odd to say, but I feel like the art in this book is a little bit better than the art in the last book, even though it's done by the same artist. It just even Wanda looked way better in this the short time that she was in the book.
Well, I would say when it comes to Wanda, she looked better because, like everybody else, if you'll notice, she changed her outfit twice. and her hairstyle was changed with it. So she was changing just as much as the others were.
Hmm.
It actually
And there
took
was
me a
no
little
real
bit.
zoom in on Wanda, actually, by the way.
No,
I find that's
no, but
where Prez messes up when he zooms in on characters. I find that that's his weak part.
And yeah, it's definitely a book you want to take your time with because it's so cool seeing these characters. Like you get to see error in times, error like not like error like there's an error, but like era as in ERA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, ERA.
So you get to see them like that Batman scene where you get to see half of him, like half of him has changed. That was really cool. Seeing the old Cap shield is pretty cool. But I think I don't know why my favorite part was seeing Green Arrow and Hawkeye side by side. That was probably one of my
Yeah.
favorite parts in the book. Just
Mhm.
I'm a Green Arrow fan. But you can't go wrong with Superman holding Mjolnir and the shield. It was just that was like
that was
chef's
the
kiss. Yeah. All right. Well, I will say like without like the dialogue was pretty bad. There was some pretty bad dialogue, and I really wish that was taken out. But I'd agree with D. Like you could just pass by it, especially if you've read it more than once. Other than that, it was a really, really good read, and thank you, Dee, for recommending this book because I finally got to read it. So here are my ratings for the cover. The cover is I don't want to give it like a 5. Like I haven't been on here that long with you guys, so I don't want to like blow my 5 load too early. So I will give it a 4.75.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Superman fan and seeing him with Mjolnir and the shield cap shield is just freaking fantastic. And the back cover just reminds me of Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is a great series all on its own. Next up, what we go art next or story next?
Art. Interior
Art,
art.
yes.
Interior art. Yeah.
Interior art, like I said, it feels like an improvement from the last issue. And it's just every panel is just fantastic. Like I said, take your time going through it. You'll see some great art and some great characters drawn in it. I would have to give it a 4.
You said 4?
4, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And story-wise, besides the dialogue, that's probably my only gripe with this book. It was a great read. It was a great read, great final issue, concluding everything. Was it a little long? Yes. Did I tell Biggie it was going to be shorter than the rest? Yes. Did I lie to Biggie? Yes. So I would have to give this a I would give it a 3.5 story. And all in all, I would have to say that would give my total overall 4.
All right, beautiful. Very well done. You did excellent job, TM. Who would you like to score next?
Let's bring you up.
Bring me up. All right.
Hey, TM, I just wanted to say I am glad you enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
I got one sentence that I feel like sums this up for my review, but I'm going to give more than just one sentence. So, in my opinion, you want to talk about if you're looking for like a frugal collector that wants the biggest bang for their amount of money spent, this series is it. You're going to get so much content, so much information, so much to read, so much shit going on in the. This is like, it's like you go to the you go to Wendy's and you want the large size. No, I want the biggie size. I want the extra biggie. That's what this is. This is like crammed. It's like triple strawberry shake or something. That's my simple take on it. So I'm gonna start with the cover. Let's see. I like the story. It was good. I've been saying the whole series. I've been fighting through this one. I love y'all. It's not exactly my cup of tea, but I will trudge through every comic. I'm not saying trudge is in a bad way. I'm just saying like if it's not my thing, I'll still try to read it and get through it. And for the cover, I think it's a good cover. I like the idea of him holding, the hammer and the cat and the shield. Is it done in my style and fashion? No, it's not like my favorite style of art. But the idea is great. I feel like the neck is a little wonky. Face ain't perfect. Background's pretty good. Got the stars. I'll go like 3.5. I'm not gonna go fucking crazy on this cover. It's all right. 3.5 is a pretty good score for me. Inside art. It's got a lot of inside art. Like I said, if you want to get some 4 issues and get as much art as you can, this is the shit you should buy. You're gonna get so much art. You're gonna get so many panels. You're gonna get little intricacies. It's like a advanced college course for college shit to me. It's like Perez is just flexing his comic know-how. That's how I feel. It feels like he's almost like looking down on the peon writers. He's like bing 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 bing. It's like follow this, follow that, follow this, follow that. That's how I feel when I'm reading it. And it's a little overwhelming for me. So the inside art's good. It's not my favorite again, but I do recognize Perez as being a badass dude. So I'm going to give it, guess what? A 3.5. It's about the same as the cover to me. All right. This is where the score dips down a little bit. So the story, overall, I liked issue 1 the most. I didn't expect that to happen. But for me, issue 1 was a little more easy rider. They were getting it going, kind of understood everything. And it was just like 2, 3, 4. And it was just like a little intense for me. So I liked issue 1 the most. So I'm going to give the writing on this at the end. It gets a 2.75. And for overall, we will give it a 3.
Awesome.
And I will let Matt go next. Did it score yet? 3.5, 3.5. I don't see my scores popping up. There it goes. 2.753. Yes. Okay, good. Bang.
Actually, can we let Alan go next? Because I feel that my review of this should be last, and there's a reason for it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to relinquish your next, we will give it to Alan.
You guys aren't going to like my review, but
Oops.
so this
Get
one,
off the damn panel. Get out of here.
Yeah, so my review is going to be a little harsh.
He keeps flipping us over.
Okay, I'll just get the cover out of the way just because I thought the cover is, it's grown on me more and more. I'm actually going to give it a 5. I think it's worthy of being in the top 100 covers. So, and it is. So if it's there, it's a 5. Just that alone makes it a 5. So I think it's a great cover. It's a very iconic cover. It has both, Superman holding both the most iconic items we can think of. Why do you keep on switching it? What's going on?
He's playing with your mind.
He's playing with my mind. I feel like I'm in the comic again. So when I'm reading this comic, I have so many gripes with it that I found it insanely confusing to read. It started out very typical. Like one thing I was mentioning.
I'm trying to unmute myself. Sorry. There we go.
Now
I won't do it.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I was trying to unmute myself and it wouldn't let me unmute myself without switching you. So I'm good now. Go ahead.
Come on.
It's like,
I'm sorry.
You got it switched again though.
Did it switch again? It looks like it's normal to me.
No, I'm small. Matt's big.
No, you're big.
You're big.
Oh, okay. For me, it's the other way around. Okay,
Sorry.
so the issue that I had with it is okay. So let's go through the 4 books. First book is the setup. It's like we know that there's this Chrono dude who's trying to find out the secrets of the universe, and he's basically able to go snap bye bye universe if he doesn't like what he gets as an answer. Then we get the game master and all that kind of stuff, and the sort of setup is there. Okay. Second episode is the heroes having to go on this little quest to get all the little items. Third thing is, you know, they got all the items, but you know, you think it's all over, all sorted out. They got the items, they did what they needed to do, and then oh, lo and behold, it's all mixed up. Now they have to figure out that oh, we got to fight against the big guy. This episode is like they go up against all of the, you know, like iterations of bad guys, and it's just like a big, you know, let's bring in everything from both universes, have them fight it out. And in a way, that was a distraction. So what I found was like I was like kind of wanting to see how our superheroes that we built up through these 3 books, how they would be able to fight this godlike character that can literally snap his fingers and, you know, have a universe be wiped out. But we never get that. We never really get that. Superman gets Mjolnir, he smashes through the dome thing, and you know, it seems like very quick. There's no real fight with Kronos himself, it feels like. And I felt like it was very, very confusing. I don't know, it was just me, or it was very, very confusing, like reading this and kind of going through it. I did try to read all the dialogue boxes. I found it, as TM said, they didn't really add much to it. It was very confusing read. It was not a pleasant read, in my opinion. I found it very. I was like, come on, let's get to the big battle. Let's get to the big battle. I just want to get to the battle, not of the big battles of just like bodies being thrown at each other, but the big battle between our heroes and the big baddie, you know, which I felt like it never really happened. And then when things sort of tied up, I was like, oh, okay. And it became an egg. I don't know. It's an egg. It's like, I didn't even understand the ending. You know, and then Game Master's back. He was dead, but now he's back. Everybody's back. Everybody's happy. Everybody's back to normal. Oh, okay. Okay. And, you know, it's like, it was a dream. It feels like that, you know.
I think them getting it back to normal was their victory, kind of, right?
Well,
That was what they
I
had to
get that.
do.
Yes,
Yeah.
I got that. I believe it or not, I got that. It's just,
Okay.
I felt it just wasn't very satisfying, you know?
Yeah, you wanted them to beat his ass or something. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you know, but like, I don't like these slog fests where it's just like people like I'm blasting you, you're blasting me, we're blasting each other, you know, everybody's blasting everybody. I like situations where the hero uses something that they have their capabilities and they use them together, and by having all those key things they are able to outsmart or outplay the bad guy. Do you know what I mean?
Every time I click my shit. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah, I
now
hear
I'm
you.
big. Okay, now I see myself big. Okay, so the point is like I really didn't feel like there was ever anything like that. I never sensed, oh, this is cool because they're really putting all their things together. The only time I felt like that at one point was when, you know, Thor did give the hammer to Superman. I really did. I liked that scene. So I gave the cover a 5. I start out really high numbers, so the cover gets a really high score. For me, the interior art, because I found everything so confusing and I felt like it was just bodies being thrown at each other. Perez is the perfect guy for that. This is right up Perez's alley. He's just like, let's throw lots of people on a cover, or let's throw lots of people in a scene. Let's throw things, and he's really good at that. That's his forte. Yeah, it was very Perez. I felt like I was in the mind of Perez for a little while.
Oh yeah.
And yes, that's not a good place to be sometimes, though. I just felt like there was bodies being thrown at each other. So I'm gonna give
it ain't the worst place, but it ain't where you're it ain't your place. I get it.
Like,
yeah.
you know, if you take like if I took all the art and looked at it individually, I would say, oh, this is awesome. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But for me, because it was so confusing, actually, I felt like the art actually went against the storytelling and sort of guiding me through it a bit. So I'm actually going to be harsh on the art because I found it confusing. But if you look at it by itself, beautiful. It's one of those weird things for
The
me.
panels are great, but they're a little much. It's a lot to digest.
Yeah. It was weird. So I'm going to give the
That's
art.
why
I didn't even hit a button that time.
What?
What did you give it? I'm sorry.
I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 2.
Oh.
I'm being really harsh on it. Sorry, guys.
That's almost
No,
average. It ain't
well,
too bad.
Alan, that's why I said that it's a book you want to take your time with and enjoy enjoy it. It's not a book like you're like
You can't
you
read
want to
right
rush
fast
through
through
Well,
it.
it.
this is
Yeah.
Alan's opinion, so I think it's fair. We've all been pretty nice to the book so far, I'd say.
You're okay. So the scores are, as I said, starts out at 5.
I'm not even touching anything. I swear to God.
Now it's
I
a
didn't
2.
even-
Yes, the system's mad at me for deferring to the next round.
Okay.
This is crazy. I'm not even touching the damn. Oh
Uh,
my God.
So this is Perez getting back from the dead, maybe, or something. But so the story, though, man, the story for me was a 1. I am not. I felt like it was a very I wasn't satisfied with the ending. I wasn't satisfied with the my expectations of a great epic battle between our heroes and this godlike figure. I was kind of hoping for something like that. It was very weak on that. It was a build up where they had to get the little ship all together and all that kind of stuff, and they could seem like, and I didn't really feel like there was even like just things like, they set up all these things where, we're
Christ.
gonna find out the answers to the universe, and then I never even felt satisfied on that. I just never felt satisfied with anything that they gave me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just felt like this was a bit of a letdown in a way. Like they set up like really big expectations at the beginning of this whole thing, that we're gonna find out the answers to the universe. We're gonna find out everything about all the superheroes. We're gonna get, we're gonna see how they can beat this godlike thing. This is like, in D&D, if you ever play D&D, you start out with a really, a bunch of characters, and you go on little quests and stuff. And then if you ever get like the books, like the the fiend folios and the god books, and you're always thinking, oh, maybe if my team got really strong, we could take out the gods. What would it be like to fight a god? Well, this was that opportunity. And it was squandered. It was wasted. It was just lame. I just didn't like it. So I give the writing a 1. As I said, I'm just
Holy shit. Yeah, you did that. Okay.
yeah. So I'm really harsh on the writing. So I'm disappointed. Sorry. That's yeah. I'm
Tell us
a
how
You ain't
you
gotta be
really
sorry. You ain't gotta be
Um,
sorry.
overall, I give the book a 2.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So it's greater than the 1, but I just felt like the cover's great, but I just didn't feel like everything else supported it. So sorry guys, I'm a little bit
No, you don't
harsh.
have to be sorry. You're putting your reputation
your-
on the line,
yeah,
giving
this is-
Perez
this
a
is your
bad score.
opinion.
That's your fault. It's not ours. All right.
Sorry.
No, you're
is this
fine.
why Matt? Is this why Matt wanted to go last?
Probably. You probably
I
knew.
don't know.
Fucking-
I don't know.
No,
why
I
Matt wanted to
didn't
go
know
last.
anything. There's a reason why I wanted to go last.
Okay, I'm trying to get this to
Fine,
where it
though.
ain't messing up. I hate this. I don't know what's going on tonight, but go ahead, Matt. Thank you, Alan. Very well done.
Okay.
So all I really want to say is this book, more than any book that I've read in the last 3 or 4 years,
Oh boy,
brought me back to that 10-year-old kid that loves comic books.
look at that. Nice.
Okay. See, I'm the odd man out, so don't mind me.
This was everything I loved about comic books. Keeping in mind that one of my biggest things is the Legion, and the Legion is a large group of people.
Yeah.
And another, and I was Crisis came out when I was 13. And
Oh, it makes sense that Matt likes this. Yeah.
okay, and
Yeah,
it's the
this is
same
very
artist,
crisisy.
and there's a lot of the same concept. And this time, Supergirl doesn't die.
Yeah.
That's true.
So this is a big deal for a guy like me.
Nobody died. It was beautiful.
I know.
Well, they died and then came
I
back. So
absolutely,
they cheated
I
it.
was absolutely like, to me, this was my Return of the Jedi without Ewoks. This was my Return of the King. This was my
Actually, if they had put Ewoks in this, I would have given it a higher score.
Ugh.
What?
I was joking. I'm just being silly. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Why not? The Ewoks, actually, I think they were.
They were in Marvel.
They were in Marvel, so they could have been.
They probably
But
did. We just didn't.
I loved, my favorite part of the book was all the changes.
Yes.
It wasn't like some of them were big, like Superman turning
A lot
into
of them
the
were
blue
subtle, actually,
Superman,
very subtle.
but some were subtle. There was one thing that, if you notice, there was one panel where Superman was wearing his Golden Age outfit with the cuffs on the thing instead of his nice thing, and the slightly off-centered S. And I love that. It's like it for and
There was
Batman,
a lot of that. Like
Batman
really,
had 3 different emblems. Like it was like you saw, and Wonder Woman wore 2 different costumes that I was able to see. So just as a guy who loves the history of comics, same with the Marvel. I mean, how waspy is it for her to have a different costume in just about every panel? That's normal for her.
Yeah.
If you would read the Avengers, that's normal for her. So I liked the fact that Perez knows his stuff, as does the writer who obviously did this. I'm going to break everything. This was the perfect book for me.
Cool.
I would say 5s across the board, except for one little thing. The writing was a little much. So I'm going to have to dock the writing 0.25, but I'm going to give I'm going to give the cover a 5, the
Wow.
interior art a 5. You got to remember this. Okay. I admit this book, I am not doing it as a critical eye. I'm doing this as a fan eye. The writing gets 4.75, and I'm giving the book overall a 5. I
Okay.
am going to read this book a lot in the next couple of years. I am going to, in fact, I've been looking this afternoon and trying to get a copy of the trade.
Well, I think Matt just guaranteed this book's going to be in the top 3. So very
I
well done.
really, really love this. Like I can't help it. It's just the kid in me is so strong for this book.
No, beautiful.
And it got like what 3 5s for the cover, and then 4.75 for me. But like, yeah, it's almost 5s across the board for the cover.
No, me and Alan was a little tougher.
No, I
gave
was
it a
nice on
3.
the cover.
No,
I was nice on the cover.
Alan gave it
did
a 5. I was the only one that was like, fuck that 3.5. But yes,
I mean,
okay.
as a kid, think about this. If you're a 10-year-old reading this, Superman has Thor's hammer. And
I said I love the idea. It just ain't my style of art.
It's so like, no, like this is just it.
That's
Right
really
off the
iconic
bat,
to
it's
me, I
like
think, yeah.
you catch that off, and it's very rare that I look at a book and get all giddy about it. But this one made me giddy.
One thing I
Yeah.
have to say, just to defend myself a little bit, because I was harsh on this book, is I read this quickly. So what I mean by that is I was a little bit late. I was still just finishing it, just coming here. So it was a book where I didn't spend like a whole week reading it. I read it today. And I think this is book that, as TM said, you got to spend twice as long or 3 times as long to read it and really enjoy every panel, enjoy every moment. But I found it just a slugfest a sludge fest doing that. So I just couldn't do it. Sorry.
And I see where you get that. But again, the difference for me is I don't think I paid as much attention to the slugging as I did. Ooh, that's that era. Ooh, it's that costume. Ooh,
I know there is a bit of that
and that was
geekiness in
just
there.
me. Again, everybody has their different
Yeah.
interpretations.
Yeah.
You're not going to hear me say this giddy. I mean, like I've brought books on this show where I thought it was great, and then I looked at it with the adult lens and realized this was a piece of crap. Like
So D was pretty modest, actually. D was the 3rd highest score, and
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
So
TM
Matt's
and
the
Matt
highest,
Matt's the highest,
TM, and
TM
then
second.
D.
Yep. 32.5, 44, 45.25, 55. Oh, no, it's more than that. There's 5 people. Hold on. 55.25, 55.25 plus 19.75 would make it 65, 75 is our total.
75
That's the
divided by
new high
5
book.
people, though. No, but
Yes,
it's
Sorry?
but
divided by 5 people.
Yep.
yes, but it's still 5 people. It's the same score. I don't have to divide it.
Right.
It's actually 100 points. It is new top book. JLA.
Hey.
Yeah, what up, dude?
Ben Compton, figure drawing. I want you both to know I love fentanyl. Like, uh,
What was the
We got
final score? Sorry?
75 total.
75 even?
Yep. We got some pretty spicy comments in here. So I think Cliff said that Alan was reading the wrong book at one point. I thought that was pretty funny. Alan was reading a different book.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I think Alan and me kind of like our books a little more calm to fuck down than D and Matt.
So maybe because I read a lot of Golden Age, and when I read Golden Age, it's usually it's not as long. You know, they're shorter stories, right?
Well, they're
You know,
shorter stories. And the thing is, for the most part, I'm like that too. My favorite is anything from Golden till the end of Silver, where they were 8 to 13 pages tops. You
Mhm.
know, you can wrap everything up nicely. It's a nice distraction. Bronze Age on is good if you like more in-depth stories, which is also good. Don't get me
Eh,
wrong. I'm literally to me this is like I'm opening a He-Man on Christmas. I'm opening a, like this was
yeah.
the thing that appealed to me.
So here's
It isn't gonna always
another
be
thing that I think the difference between you and I, Matt. So you like Legion, right? You
Yeah,
like that multiple characters all together and doing
yeah.
some big odd quest. I'm more of a single character kind of like I like Batman. I like you know, single characters doing like some little
Yeah,
thingy.
I get that too.
And this I found just because it is too many characters, it's like, oh, what the heck? I don't know what, you know. It's just in a way I found it
I
too
get
many.
that. It could be a little overwhelming at
It was a
times.
lot, dude. Yeah, but at the same time, like I'm saying, like if you're a collector and you can only afford like 4 books, get these 4 fucking books. They'll last you for a year.
Well,
Like there's
this
a
one
lot of
book will
shit in
get
this
you
book.
almost every character in DC and
Yeah,
Marvel.
it's fucking
I
awesome.
This one,
hey,
it's
I
like-
know I know that we're different again. I know we're different on this, Alan, but I do like less characters in my stories too. Like my favorite Legion stories are actually the ones where it's only 5 or 6 members and they go off. Like for example, the Fatal Five, when it was the Sun Eater, there was only 5 Legionnaires in the book. Okay, as an example, and they got
Mhm.
more. Like I like to see the characters develop too. It's not like, okay, here's this guy bouncing boy. He bounced 3 times, but he's a member of the Legion.
Mhm.
Or Matter Eater lad who never did anything. Like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
So
I feel like go ahead, Alan.
this was for this book kind of seemed like superhero porn, and it was an orgy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I
That's what it
fell
felt
for
like.
it.
It was weird. I don't know.
It
well,
felt, it
Matt,
felt,
I was all for it. I was all for it.
are you trying to say something, D? I'm sorry. What are you saying something, D?
yeah, no, I wanted to say I know a book like this isn't going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I am very, very excited that both TM and Matt loved it so much. Like that,
Mhm.
I
No,
think
it's
you all
always good
both
when
caught,
people like your book.
yeah, you all both caught the vibe that I took from it, that it's a
Mhm.
lot of childhood fun and it's absolutely not perfect, but it is still fun when you have
Yeah.
time to sit down and enjoy it for what it is. So
Yeah.
So actually, D, you actually, if I wish I had listened to your review of the book before reading this book. You said
Mhm.
something that actually made me think, oh, if I had done it that way, maybe I would have liked this book.
What's
And
that?
what you said was you can ignore most of the dialogue and just visually look through it.
Skim through. I love skimming, dude.
Had I
Hashtag
just
skimmer.
skimmed through it, I probably would have liked it more. I would just
Yeah.
look at the action scenes. I would have kind of enjoyed it. But I was reading the stupid dialogue boxes. It's
All
just
the way
like,
through.
and it was just like, man, this is annoying. There's just so many.
I
these
will
little-
say this: if there's one thing that I think could have changed, the font and colors for Krona's
The
gold
purple?
on purple does not look good. Like it's hard
I
to
think
read.
it was supposed to be like, so different that from everything else. That's why.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Yeah.
considering the size of the word balloons they used for him, gold on purple was not the right choice.
What up, 90MF, dude? NWO for life, dude.
So a book like this, though, you guys, like one of the things that it makes it difficult to write it and to illustrate it is Marvel and DC both want to come out of this book looking like $1,000,000.
Yeah.
And that's why
That's the
there was
challenge.
so much dialogue. You had to allow so many characters to have a moment on the stage, and that is a weakness of a story like this. Is you have to you wind up handing everyone a microphone,
Yeah,
and
And it just
and
becomes
it
noise. Yeah.
yeah,
it's
and that's where you can drown out some of it. Yeah.
Band-Aid or We Are the World for superheroes. It's like everybody gets a line, Is it?
So ever since we started getting into this, dude, I don't know if y'all heard, but the amalgam's coming back.
Oh, the amalgam universe is coming back.
Yes, so we're getting a new amalgam.
See, I think the amalgam.
Are we getting a new amalgam? I know that we're getting a DC Marvel crossover. I don't know
Yeah,
if it's
I
amalgam.
mean it's a kind of the same thing, ain't it? Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's what is it, Batman and Spider-Man or some shit? Like there's gonna be a crossover, so I call it the amalgam. But yeah,
Cool.
The amalgam is the combination of like combining Batman and Wolverine
okay,
like into one character. That's an amalgam.
right.
They didn't say that they're doing that, but they also didn't say that they aren't. They did confirm that they are doing a crossover event, which is
I thought that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's amalgam books that have that, and then there's also where they were like just together, right?
yeah. But the
No.
actual
Amalgam was actually
term
where they made like.
They made them all together. Okay.
Yeah, no, they
They
mixed it, like,
combined
What
them
did they
together.
call the fucking the ones with like Robin
Like
and
Batboy and whatever.
Jubilee
Or
and
Spidey Boy.
shit? What was that? What was the
That
Robin?
was the
was
amalgam.
Marvel-
That was them combining them together, though.
Yeah, they were actually.
That's what I'm
together
saying.
in one.
That's what I'm saying.
No. Hey, TM,
Yeah, but-
TM, you misspoke. That wasn't combining them together. That was them in the same story. That was Marvel versus DC.
Yes, and that
okay.
was X-Men, right?
And
X-Men Titans.
Well, no, that was literally just Marvel versus DC. It was a 4-part series.
Okay.
That did birth the amalgam universe, where the heroes then combined and fused into one. So you
Okay.
got Superman and Captain America became Super Soldier. You got
Yeah.
the Nightclaw, which is Wolverine and Batman into one. And then there's like 30 issues of the amalgam, which is
Okay.
crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
there's great ones. There's like
Darkwing, the Howard the Duck and Lobo.
Yeah.
Lobo the Duck.
Or challengers.
I got Magneto and his Metal Men.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have all of them actually.
I'm missing some, but like
I think,
I do like I collect those as well because they're just great. And they're fun stories. They're fun
Nate
one-off
has
stories.
all of them but 2 or 3. He's a big fan of the amalgam.
So where'd we place that, Matt?
Oh, it's at the top.
It's number
What
one.
is it? Number 1 now?
It's number 1 now.
Motherfucker!
It knocked off Hunter Prey.
Damn.
Wow.
I hope y'all are happy.
I would have thought my scores would have.
I thought so too. I was pretty
Yours brought it from being like this 80-90% book. This is a 75, so a book.
I
can
thought
come
we've had
along
higher
and-
scores than that, but okay.
Wow.
No,
I'm not mad at it.
All right.
most of our scores actually seem to end up in the 48 to 63% range.
It was a higher
That's what-
percentile. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Most of them
My
were.
scores were good. I gave them good scores, even though I was a little I could have been harsher, but I feel like there's talent there. It just might not be the talent I recognize, you know. So I gave it a good
Mhm.
score.
Right.
I kind of generally score shit. I don't if I don't like the book, that don't mean I'm gonna give it a bad score. I understand that sometimes I don't like shit that's good. So you know, I gave it a good score.
One thing I do want to say, and it's about our overall list. Um, I still love Hunter Prey. It's one of my favorite series of all time. Um, I do regret that it was the first thing we reviewed
We
because
did a big thing with it.
it was all three issues in one review, and it I think it got rated higher than it probably should have compared to some of the other books that came after it. And because we were still getting our review beaks wet at the time,
Hmm.
I think it got higher scores overall than it probably deserved. It's
Yeah,
still in there. It's part of it now, but I do think that there have been better books that have come along since then that we've reviewed that got lower scores.
Yeah, like
So
Bullet
that
Man
to
1 should have gone, or Nickel Comics 1 should have gone.
yeah, no, incorrect. However, but no, but I will say that, like Biggie and I both uh, collectively decided to nominate, Hunter Prey as our first book that we reviewed. And then, obviously I had a big hand in reviewing this book. So, I mean, right now, I mean, I'm like one and two if you want to,
oh, you're
if we're keeping
absolutely on
score.
top. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was on top because I had FF52, but you took my spot now, so I'm second.
Yeah. 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 So I'm just sitting up here chilling.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's ever on the bottom spot? I'm
Sorry,
coming for your spot.
my apologies. This is not the highest score. It's
Let's
the highest.
fucking go, baby.
It's the highest score from a base point because it's 75 out of
I
100.
fucking knew it.
But from a percentage point of view, it's number 4,
Yeah.
number 5, 6.
That's why I was wondering. I was like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We've
okay,
had like
now I
80% almost before. All right.
that's why I thought. That's why I was like,
Yes,
confused.
that's my fault.
Matt,
I had to.
Man, I really needed you to say that before I sat here and gloated for the last 3 minutes,
Yeah,
man.
no,
I feel like a
you
real
really
fucking
fucking
asshole.
struck D out bad, dude.
Because I'm having some issues with the. Okay, it is
Holy
tied
shit.
with Parasite.
I like Parasite way better. That's a great
Yeah,
book.
yeah. I mean, we're pretty good at scoring shit, so I think this is fourth is fucking higher than I thought it'd get. Number one was like, well, fucking world's going to
I couldn't understand number 1. I really didn't. Yeah.
I was just rolling with it. It didn't bug me. All right, we're at fourth then.
I got 2 books in the top. Fucking hell.
Biggie's still on top. My
Oh.
FF52 still going, baby.
I'm not mad about that at all. Like, and that's, I do want us to find a book. I think it would
That
be
we
a lot
all
of
love?
fun that takes Hunter Prey off the top, because I think we could all pick a couple books that we've read here so far that we like a lot more than that. But that just wound up being universally liked, and the covers weren't even that liked, which is the crazy part.
Yeah, I didn't like the covers from Hunter Prey.
But it had really good interiors, and the story
Yeah.
was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people I talked to about that.
Hunter Prey there was 4 of us. It got 82.6%.
Yeah, dude.
That's
Hunter
the
Prey
problem
was
I was
good.
looking at the wrong number when I put the thing
Okay.
on the list.
Okay, that makes much
Oh
more
man,
sense.
it's totally fine. I like being able to bitch about it. Like, oh, why'd you tell me after I fucking gloated? But no,
But
I think it actually adds to it.
tied. It tied at 75% with Action Comics 340.
Cool.
Wow.
Nice.
It's good company, man. It's really good company. All right. So it is Alan's turn to pick a book.
Okay, so I was thinking about this book. I think we're going to go with something that's a classic. Let's go with Detective 27.
Oh, nice.
I figured,
know that book
I
pretty
should
well.
introduce the big books to the list. Why not?
Hell yes.
Should I give the art 1 now, or can it wait?
Why would you give it a fucking 1?
Oh
because
shit!
Bob Kane is terrible.
You're out of your fucking mind. You don't. Oh, dude, I'm probably gonna give everything a 5.
Biggie's like Matt's not invited next week.
What the
So,
fuck?
So I think that's good. I feel like I haven't ever read Detective 27.
Oh, I
think
have.
I skimmed
You've
it
never
once,
read
but that's it.
the. Wow.
It's fucking great. It's like the thugs are
The story is
giants
fun.
and the fuck Batman's kicking. Batman's so brutal.
A
Mhm.
fitting
And,
end for this kind.
Oh man, I love it. I'll
Yeah,
probably give
so
it the highest
I
score.
think it'll be a fun one.
Hell yeah. I think it's
Oh,
probably
it'll
better
be
than
a lot
Action
of
1.
fun. I'm assuming you only want us to read the Batman story.
Yeah, it'll be just the Batman story. It'll be a little bit of a lighter week. We just had a
It's
Slugfest
certainly
to go
not
through.
a lighter tone.
No. The
I
Golden
don't
Age
have-
Batman's a little bit more dark.
I
It
can't
is.
believe you picked the first appearance of Commissioner Gordon.
I never would have thought that Matt thought anything ill about Tech 27. I would think that you'd be excited like I am.
I'm
I
glad I,
am
have
excited.
the facsimile.
I am excited about my thoughts about the art are a little affected by my opinion of Bob Kane, the man.
Bob Kane took a lot of the glory out of
Bob
He's
Kane was a
Bill
bit of a
Finger
Stanley.
and a lot of other people that were
He it wasn't just that he took the glory on that. To Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's face, he said when it was time to negotiate in the 60s,
mhm.
yeah, I'll help you out. And then he sold them out for another $35,000.
Mhm.
Oh. Yeah,
Yeah.
well. Why do you love Stan Lee so much?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I always see Bob Kane as the Stan Lee of DC.
Absolutely.
But Stan Lee actually did have a bigger role in all of Marvel than Kane did.
Bob
Like,
Kane did, yeah.
yeah, Kane was heavily tied to Batman, and
Mhm.
he held down Bill Finger, which is one of the
Yeah.
co-creators of Batman.
He also held down Jerry Robinson.
Jerry
as a
Robinson is
result,
the
and,
artist. Yeah.
and Dick Sprang to a smaller
I
extent.
would say that Stan Lee held down more people than Bob Kane, but that's my modest opinion.
Oh, I don't.
No, but Stan Lee did it to so many people. I don't know.
Stan Lee was also a company man, and Bob Kane was about Bob Kane.
Yeah.
Bob Kane,
Stan Lee was
Bob
not
Kane
a
is the type of guy. He never got married until late in his life, and he was the type of guy who would use do a little silly Batman drawing on a napkin to try and pick up a woman.
Mm.
It was kind of a bit of a. It's
I
like
guess.
if you read the stories about him, he's not the nicest man out there.
Mhm.
We might have to read Mr. Miracle issue 6 next for my pick, since you're such a Stan Lee fan.
Oh, really?
I'm just glad that Alan picked a comic that I have a facsimile of.
You guys
So now
don't know
I can read it
No.
physically. I love
No,
reading
guys,
it physically rather than
only
digitally.
accept the original, so you guys all have to buy
If
Detective
you,
27.
by the
Oh,
way,
shit.
if you own a copy of Detective 1027,
Mhm.
they do the same story over with 5 different writers and 5 different artists, and their interpretations of the same story. It's actually pretty cool.
So Mr.
Okay,
Miracle
that's
6
cool.
is the first Funky Flash, man, where Kirby makes fun of Stan Lee. So
Yes.
that's why I said
I
that.
love that Funky Flash, man. That one made me laugh.
Mm.
Now, Alan, if we all have to read an original copy of it, I'm gonna have to crack open one of my 8 slabs of Tech 27 that I have, which I guess
Well-
I'll suffer through it.
Well, the thing is that the NWO, we do have a Tech 27 in the NWO. So
That's true, we do.
yes, New World Order is always prepared. We may not have an action one, but Tech 27.
I saw another book he's getting too, by the way.
Oh, did you?
Mm.
I don't know what it is. It's probably Action One, knowing his crazy
No,
ass.
it's some character. DC refers to him as Shazam. But
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
he's getting Wiz too?
I thought he already
Nice.
had that shit. Nice.
Mm.
Wiz.
All right.
It just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, he's
Well-
got Wiz too.
I got a whiz too, but sometimes I don't have to whiz. But I thought we.
Well,
I
have
thought
you ever heard the story about Wiz Comics? The reason why it was number 2? It was
it's probably-
because they had originally called the character Captain Thunder, and they tried to copyright it under the name Flash Comics.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
they couldn't.
Of course not.
So therefore, they had to come up, and also the name Captain Thunder apparently didn't make
Copyright?
Thunder. They didn't make Thunder. It didn't make mustard. And with the copyright artist. So unfortunately, because they'd already sent an ash can to the patent, not the patent office, but the people that keep the Library of Congress, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they'd already sent an ash can there to try and get copyright protection. They
So this
ended
was
up
considered
having to-
issue 2 by.
They had to. That's why Wiz Comics was issue 2.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So-
maybe we can get Doc to come and meet it or be a special.
Special
creator.
guest where you can show it. Just,
Yeah, he could actually show the book. It's hard to get him on
That'd be
stream
cool.
anymore.
That'd be
That
cool.
would be fun. Yeah, I
That
tried
would
that with
be-
Cap One and we didn't get that to work, so it probably won't. But we'll see if I get to talk to him.
Well, we could have had Steven come on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we could have had Steve.
We didn't know he had Cap One at the time. Y'all might have knew, but I didn't know that he had Cap One when we reviewed it.
Was
I
that
had no idea.
before or
idea.
after?
It
He
might
might
have
have been
been right
after
before.
that he got it.
Yeah.
I think we FOMO'd him. He was like, "Oh, that sounds like a good book."
Yeah, he was either in the process or had it, but he debuted it after we reviewed it.
Yeah.
So
I wonder
All
how
right,
many
well-
people will FOMO next week with Detective 27.
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe as many as we FOMO'd with this book.
Oh yeah, that's a big book though.
Yes,
Look
Mr.
at you,
Canoehead.
man.
Mr. Canoehead.
My stackery finally came in today.
I'm sending mine on Friday, so
I've been waiting on the mail. Oh, it seems like fuck. I got 2 packages been waiting on. I thought I'd get them by now, but whatever. They'll get here eventually, I guess. So book club's been fun today. I don't know if I'm doing it. I might do a stream Friday for Collector Club. I don't have any big plans, but that could change. And I've been enjoying my 2 to 4 lately. I hop on during the weekday from 2 to 4 and I promote channels. And in the last week, I've gotten like 30 subscribers. So I've been doing pretty good. I got a little recipe going.
That I think that's why we both went on that binge last week. We were both together on your show, talking about channels there. And
Yeah, you get some people in here and start throwing. Now, you're really good at that, Matt. I need some more of your recommendations, man. Because
the problem is 2 to 4. I'm still working, so I can't jump on with you.
well, if you could just send me some people you would like me to shout out on your Instagram message, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I can look at that. I do have I'm going to say that in the last 3 months, I have seen a lot of new channels like Chonko, for example, out there.
yeah.
That have really started doing quality work right off the bat, and their subscriber numbers are showing that. Like Chonko, when I first subscribed to him, I was his 20th. He's now almost at 100, and it's a month later. Like I'm
He's
seeing
really
that
going fast.
he's going fast. Son of Crom has just gone through the roof. I know that him doing the
What is he at now?
He's just under 300.
Oh wow.
Like he was in the low 100s when he started doing the bracket thing. So I mean, like,
I think he really used the bracket thing to build.
but you know what? If there's one thing that I will say, most of these new, if not all of the new ones I've been watching, are good people. They're not coming on to complain about stuff.
No. I like them.
Like we're not getting. I mean, like, love them or hate them, Sticky Goose is controversial. We're not getting new controversial people right now, and to be honest, I think that's best for. I would rather watch someone who loves their books than to say, "Hey, fight scenes, good or bad."
Yeah, I was wanting to ask Alan about his stick. Do you feel like there used to be a sticky effect? Do you feel the sticky effect's wearing down?
I think there is no sticky effect actually
No
anymore.
more. Yes.
The first
don't
couple
either.
of times I used him to get views in a way.
It worked.
It worked. It definitely worked. Even the last video I just did a video recently over the weekend where I was complaining about what he was saying about. He was really trashing the community, calling us a bunch of
children.
man babies, and
Yeah.
so I just, I felt like I had to, respond to that.
Fucking Alan's like, I read Golden Age, pussy.
I joined the
The whole
listen,
fucking
when I
time.
opened my package from Nate, I joined the sticker people today.
Okay,
Nice.
good. So, but the thing is, like, I found like that whole man-child thing is just that's it's sort of he is the very good example of how people that don't understand the hobby view the hobby, and that's I kind of find it interesting. Like I from a like how can I get into my wife's mind sometimes? Like how can I explain the hobby to
And
my wife?
it's and that's the attitude that we have, which made us have to hide this crap when we were in high school.
Yeah. So in a way, I kind of like hearing that kind of opinion, and because I it makes me kind of come out of my bubble a bit, and I don't want to be in that comic. Oh, everybody loves comics. Everybody, I don't want. I want to be a little bit more realistic and understand how other people view it. People that are outside the hobby. So I appreciate the opinion, but I know it's wrong. If that makes sense. I don't
boys.
agree with the opinion. It's a dumb
Yeah.
opinion.
Hey, I gotta roll out of here, you guys. I got dinner that's been waiting for quite a while, so I gotta split.
All right, Big D. Appreciate you,
All
homie.
Yeah.
Bye,
Adios.
Dee.
Yeah, I just wanted to chat a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
Did
what's
Somebody
up?
asked in the chat, did anybody check out Daredevil yet? No spoilers, but did anybody
I
check it out?
haven't had a
going to
chance.
watch-
Have you?
I am actually going to watch it after this is after we're done here. I'm
It just
I'm
came
on
out, right?
holidays
It
for
just
the
came
rest.
out today.
Yes, it came out yesterday,
2 episodes, right?
Yeah, last
Yeah.
night. Yeah.
and
So-
I'm on holidays for the rest of the week, so I can stay up late tonight to
Oh
watch.
yeah, it's March break coming up next
Yeah,
week.
I took the next 2 days off.
I've tried to get into Daredevil a few times, and it's just not my thing either. But I do want to continue. I didn't really finish with the Sticky talk with Alan, so I like how Alan pretty much said that Sticky don't know shit about comics a few times. He was like, I fucking love that, and I don't know why Sticky won't. It like Alan's like, I appreciate Sticky's content, but I
Yeah.
just can tell like he's not a real collector, and he don't appreciate the
He
hobby,
doesn't
and
understand it.
don't understand it.
Yeah.
and I just wonder
Sticky
how long
reminds-
it's going to be before Sticky's like, fuck that. I'm going to say something about Alan. I just hope he don't, but I almost feel it coming.
All
But
I will
I
say
always
is
try to be respectful of the people. If you watch my video, I actually say, I'm not trying to disrespect the person. I just disrespect his opinion. The opinion that he had.
You did.
The actual idea is not a good idea. It's not right.
he strikes me as the guy who wants to be a part of it but doesn't want to be a part of it because he's afraid he's going to look uncool to the people that aren't a part of it. That's all.
I can
That's
see
the
that.
personal impression, and that's fine. There are lots of people like that, and if you like any part of the hobby, I'm happy to have you join us. If
All right.
you are even open to reading books, I'm happy to have you join us.
My opinion of him is different. I feel like he does know what he's collecting. I feel like he knows a little bit about comic books. He knows a fair amount, probably more than the average collector. But his personality is the type of person that you don't really want to be friends with this guy because he'd sell you out for a fucking wooden nickel. That's what I think.
He's very arrogant, and he's
Well,
like,
actually-
I know more than you.
Yes.
He comes across to me as, you know how every group has that one guy. It's sunny out, it's sunny out, it's sunny out, but it's cloudy.
Yeah.
He's the cloudy guy. Like he's the
Yeah.
everybody has this opinion, so I have to be the opposite,
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's just an observation. I'm not I'm not trying to invite people out there to go, yeah, man, stick it to them. Like,
whenever I do these sticky goose ones, I get two types of people commenting. I would say, people that are Sticky Goose fans, and they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't make fun of Sticky Goose. He's awesome." And then then I get the people that hate Sticky Goose, and he's like, we should cancel him. We should get rid of him. We should do everything. We should ignore him. We should.
I will say he did one of my most favorite videos on YouTube. He went to the guy's collection That was absolutely gorgeous, and
Yeah,
he
that
showed
was fine.
that was a great video. I loved it, and I subscribed to him based on that. But
Mhm.
I unsubscribed when he was sounded like he was happy when he got kicked out of
Comic shop.
a comic show, and I'm like, why are you happy about this?
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
get to see comics. You unnecessarily pissed off people,
Yeah.
especially big men who can throw you out of places.
Right.
But one of the negative comments, I just wanted to finish what I was saying there. One of the negative comments that I got about Sticky Goose, I think is very accurate. Sticky Goose was one of the people that got into the hobby around COVID.
Yeah.
And if you got into the hobby, and this is, I remember this in the 90s the same way, where there was a bunch of people that got into the hobby, they got all excited, they saw the gains. Oh, my comics are going to be worth a million, you know, and they
Yeah.
got all excited by it. And then when it just burst, they were so upset about it that they hated the very thing that they just loved a few minutes ago. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I feel like that's a little bit of Sticky Goose's issue with comics, that it's all
Yeah.
about the money for him.
The
It's
second
all
you say that, you're right. I mean, I remember how many people got in the 90s. The early 90s was the time period that I was actually trying to be a
It was-
dealer myself.
yeah,
But
everybody
I was
wanted to be a dealer.
no, but it wasn't because like, oh, the speculation.
Mhm.
Again, it was more of I wanted to, like, I wasn't trying, like, I believe in moving product as opposed to value. If I bought a book for $1, I will move it for $2. I don't
Mhm.
need, even if it's worth
Yeah,
$8.
yeah.
The simple fact is I keep the stuff moving and people remember that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you're just sitting on your books, well, then you're going to lose it.
What most people don't understand about the 90s, and it was almost like a mini golden age of comics, because
Yeah.
what you had is the rules around newsstands kind of changed, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden anybody could become a distribute like a
I
like a
remember
port
that because
to where they could sell comics. That was a big deal. That was a game changing thing where all of a sudden anybody could sell comics in terms of
Right.
like getting the
yeah, I know. Here, all you needed was a GST number and a business registration in
yeah
Canada.
yeah it was very that was but that meant that a whole bunch of comic shops opened up. Anybody that was a collector or said, hey, this is a dream come true, I can
Yeah.
finally become a dealer. And I remember you know, there being like comic shops pretty much
Everywhere.
everywhere. There's like vape shops now. It's like
Actually, a good
it's
chunk of
crazy.
the vape shops that are currently downtown used to be comic stores.
See, that's the whole point. But it was people that didn't understand the business side of it. That you know, they were collectors. They were like they didn't get it. You know,
I feel like we're leaving out one little portion of the conversation is the sports card collectibles were all over the place also.
oh, that's true.
At the same
That was
time, I remember that it was a big deal. The shows that Alan and I go to on a monthly basis,
yes.
they started around that time, and I sold all my hockey cards then and got tons of money because I had all the 80s cards and the 70s cards, right?
Mhm.
When I was dealing, as I said, the first show, my friend and I, when we did this, we sold out of all of our 80s Batman because everybody was buying it, you know, because 80s Batman became the first speculation that wasn't 90s number ones
Mhm.
that I remember. So I remember we bought 3 copies of Vengeance of Bane off the shelf and sold them for $20 that weekend
Mhm.
each. Like,
I know that when Shaquille O'Neal was a rookie, there was the most amount of sports card companies there ever was.
yeah,
And it
Yeah, and they
increased
mass
by
produce
like
things.
it increased by like 1,000-fold or some shit. There was so many
Crazy.
sport cards. I don't know how many
one of the reasons 80s hockey cards were so huge in Canada was there was only one company really doing them.
Yeah.
So that was the hockey card set. Plus, in Canada, that was Wayne Gretzky's
Rookie
big period
card.
with the Edmonton
Mhm.
Oilers. So he was his cards were very popular.
Yeah, that's the grail, ain't it? Like you get you a Wayne Gretzky rookie. That's
It's in millions of dollars. Yeah.
yeah,
well,
it's pretty
it's in
expensive.
10.0 and it's graded. I mean, you can get one
Yeah.
right now. you or I could go to that show next weekend and get one for $1,000.
I saw an interesting
Yeah,
video.
but it'd be rough.
I saw an
Yeah.
interesting video about a guy that collected video games, and he sold his whole collection in 2018, and he was crying about he wished he would have waited till 2020.
There's
I'm
there's
just-
more to it than that, though.
Yeah.
The video game thing was a bit of a scam. So
Yeah.
there was a bit of insider trading and a bit of shenanigans that were happening with the video game sales, where they were making them go up to millions of dollars. Yeah.
If you're just looking for the right time to dump your shit, I don't really feel bad for you. You know, like you got to know when to keep some things, and I wouldn't sell all my shit at once anyway. But honestly, the best time to sell your whole collection in the last decade was 2020. Like, if you was gonna sell all your shit, that would have been the year.
Yes,
to
that was definitely a seller's market.
2020, maybe 22. You could have gotten a little bit more.
2022.
I think January. Somebody said January 2021, just after the stimulus checks went out in these
Okay.
states, was the best time to sell everything because everybody got this cash influx.
Yeah,
And
the peak of the market though was June or July of 2022. That's when the prices hit their crescendo.
Okay.
And then after that, they tanked.
See, my thing is I took all the small shit that shouldn't have been $30, $50, $100, and I sold all those, and I got the $100,000 books. You know, like, so it worked great for me. I didn't have to. I just liquidated all the West Coast Avengers, all the Marvel premieres, and all that shit, and I got me some real good Silver Age books, and I'm pretty
Yeah,
happy. Even though they all went down in value, I still have better books than I used to. So
I'm still mad at myself for selling my Jock 880.
Yeah,
Jock?
Batman.
That's the
Detective
Joker
Comics
cover.
880.
Yeah, Detective 880. Yeah,
That's a great
Yeah.
job.
you could get that back. That's like the guy that sold his video games. He said he sold 1,000 video games. I'm like,
I
dude,
know I can get it back, but I mean, like,
You're gonna
it's
pay more
also
for it.
short printed and it's harder to find anyway.
yeah,
That's
if I just sat back and thought about all the toys I had as a child and thought, oh, it's going to cost so much money to get those back. Now I got like 100 times more toys than I did as a kid. You just gotta enjoy the hobby and fucking go out and get it. You know, that's all there is to it. If you really enjoy it, just go get it.
Yeah, I've got all of them, but the Human Torch. I'm looking for the Human Torch just to complete the set of the Fantastic Four.
Nice.
You know, it's just a toy thing. I have like no toys, although I have a few over in my Supergirl shrine that people have given me over the years.
So Tech 27, and then after Alan's pick, we are going to have TM's first choice. So that'll be exciting.
Okay, that'll be
Good for TM for going and sticking it through and reviewing all his books and waiting his turn. I'm really proud of you, TM. You've done well, bro.
I'm glad that gives me an extra week to think of a book.
I'm gonna make this next book, the book that I pick. I'm gonna make it like the biggest and longest and wordiest book ever.
And I'm gonna skim through that fucker and pretend I read it
Just
today.
kidding.
Oh, an EC horror book then.
And people get confused. They're like, Silver Age is longer than Modern Age. All the fucking modern books we read, we're like, damn, that was long. So I don't know,
I
bro.
don't know. We
I
seem
was-
to always get these ones with like some person, like either Professor X or the bad guy, that's just going on these
Yeah,
monologues.
rambling, yeah.
Stop it talking,
Dude, Matt, do you read the current Metamorpho?
I bought the 3 issues that have been out. Yes.
Okay, you want to talk about wordy? Like, and
Yeah.
it does feel like an older book though. The way that they
It's-
speak and stuff,
It's
I love
actually
it.
in the it is almost a carbon copy of the style of the 1960s Metamorpho book.
Huh.
They've got it right down to they've gone for the feel for it. Even with the lingo, hey you hep
Yeah.
cats out there. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm like, yeah, the lingo is definitely taking an old school back
actually
to then.
really
I'm just
enjoyed the
loving
last-
it.
the last
I'm-
one, Java playing James Bond, that was funny.
I'm pulling like 6 Deadpool series right now, and they're all easy reads. So I might just pick one of those. So we have.
Well, that's the thing with Marvel. Marvel, I feel like Marvel's the ones like when people complain about how like you pick up a modern comic and you can like get through it like in a matter of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's the Marvel comics. I
But
guarantee you.
X-Men seems to be
I
a
just
bit of
read
a chore,
Absolute
but,
Batman, and that's like that. I was like, what?
Very
This
quick.
is like, there's no story here. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
That's what and that's I don't like that too because here in Canada, like it's $6.99,
Yeah.
to buy a single issue.
Hey, Cliff,
But
if you ever want to join Cliff, all you got to do is wait in line like TM and we'll read your book. No problem, my friend.
boy, I will say this Titans 20 that came out 2 weeks ago. Not only was it a throwback because it had Beast Boy as a gorilla on the cover, but it actually had word balloons on it. So it felt like an old comic
It
book.
was cool.
I don't have that. I see. I order all my comics from Retro Rocket, so I have to wait. I think that might be coming in maybe this week or next week. I know that the box is coming.
If it weren't for people that send TM books, he wouldn't get hardly any back issues because that's all he gets to do is get.
Well, that's a lie because like I do order books from another shop, online shop in Canada called Cap Can Comics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I,
go
I
through
get a
there.
lot from Cap Can.
I've
that's the first I've heard of
used
that.
them
I didn't
too.
know.
I
Yeah,
actually
they're good
got
for back
my-
issues.
Who was it?
Okay,
I
I'm
got
gonna
one
have
of
to
my
head
recent
out, guys.
bangers from them.
But,
All right, Alan, thanks for your help, bro.
but sorry I was so brutal on the book today. I know you guys loved it, but
You were a little more honest.
I'm the
than
Grinch that stole Avengers versus Justice League.
You're my spirit animal, Alan. Don't feel bad.
I should probably go too because the kids are going to bed shortly. So
Yeah, we'll just wrap up. All right. Catch y'all
Okay,
later.
bye,
Thanks
guys.
for hanging out. See y'all later. I'm
Bye,
not going to leave
everyone.
the studio. I'm going to
Bye,
fucking end
everyone.
the stream. There we go.
You're still
And-
going live.